Hi, I'm Daniel with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Roadmaster Smart Diode Kit for our 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. There are two versions of this kit, one with the diodes and the wiring, and then one with those things plus the 7-pole umbilical, your plug and bracket. And our neighbor today already had those things because he had some flat towing experience. So if you already have these components, then just go with the simpler kit. I think the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L makes a pretty solid flat tow setup. If you've got the family along, it's hard to beat. Seat 7, rides nice, and it's perfect for when you want to get out past the campground and see a little more. The trick is making sure you get one with Active Drive 2 or QuadraTrack 2 4-wheel drive. That way you can tow it with all 4 wheels down and you don't have to mess with the drive shaft. Once you've got it all dialed in, it's one of those setups you can count on, family-friendly, dependable, and ready to go wherever you take your RV. There are 5 main components to your flat tow setup, and starting here on the vehicle side, you have the base plate kit. So this is the device that will attach directly to your vehicle's frame and give you mounting points for your tow bar. Now your tow bar is the in-between between your motorhome and vehicle. It will attach directly to the hitch. And your next component is going to be your safety cables. So these are important for if you have a catastrophic failure. Now you're also going to need your wiring, so your diode wiring in the back will control your left and right turn as well as your brake via this 7-pole plug here. And lastly, you're going to need a braking system. So there's going to be a braking system inside your vehicle, and that will enact the brakes when you push on them in your motorhome. One more thing you're going to need specifically for your Jeep Grand Cherokee is going to be a charge line kit. And that's just going to give a trickle charge from your motorhome into your battery so it stays charged and you're not driving to your campsite and your vehicle's dead. And your braking system is going to be reliant on that as well. Your diode wiring kit is going to help you utilize your turn signals. As you can see, we got the left turn going on the motorhome, and that's showing up on our towed vehicle. So when you're going around a turn, everyone can know what you're doing. We do recommend the Smart Diode Kit because newer vehicles have the multiplex wiring. And as you can see, this one has the park sense, so we use smart diodes just to make sure everything works on the back end. Utilizing your brake signal and turn signals is necessary on the road to make everything legal, so you're definitely going to need a diode kit for your flat tow setup. Now, if you have any questions about your flat tow setup or what diode kit you're going to need, then please feel free to reach out to us at etrailer. Now, as far as the install goes, you are running wire from the front to the back and cutting in and splicing into some of your wires. So if that's not something you're wanting to do or you don't have the time or tools, then please feel free to check out our dealer locator and we can find a professional in your area to do it for you. But if you're ready to get this going, then follow along and I'll show you how to do it. First up, I got our diode wiring wire harness and I just taped a red wire to this. This will be our charge line, and this is our battery on our passenger side. I'll go ahead and run this down. I'll go ahead and route this over to our mounting location and get it zip tied. This is where our 7-pole plug is going to mount to, and I always like leaving a little bit of extra to work with. And I went ahead and routed this up behind the base plate, up to this wire, zip tied it along here, up under the headlights, and up into the engine bay here. Now I'm going to go ahead and separate the white wire all the way down to our factory ground post right there. Got this white disconnected from our other diode wires. I'll get this cut. Strip back. And I got an eyelet that I'm going to go ahead and crimp on. Using a 13mm socket, I'll go ahead and get this post removed. This is where I'll ground it. Now I'll put our ground on the post and get this tightened back down. I went ahead and just zip tied a little loop just in case we need that in the engine bay, but now I'll go ahead and route this down underneath the vehicle. I'm going to go around the battery, and I went through this wall here, and I'm going to go through a little hole down under this pocket. Got it routed to the bottom here, and I'll go ahead and route this to the rear of the vehicle and then show you the path we take. I went ahead and put it behind the heat shield because it's so close to the exhaust, and I routed it over this way. I put some loom on the end of it right here because it is so close to that exhaust. And I went all the way through this carpeted section and zip tied it to the existing wire harness. And then from here, I went up above the rear axle and came all the way to the spare tire. And from here, put some more loom on it and went actually to the frame. There's a small hole in here and I put loom on it just because it's solid metal contact, and I routed this all the way to the back. I did separate all these to make it a little easier. I got the brown wire. This is our taillight circuit. I'm going to cut this and splice both ends. Now we aren't going to both sides with our brown wire. That is why I'm cutting it, and I'm going to tee off on with a different brown wire. Now you can use that white wire we used earlier that we cut off for the ground wire, but I had some brown, so I'll go ahead and twist these together. And I got a heat shrink butt connector. Look at this crimped on. And on the other end, I will get our other brown wire and get this crimped on as well. Got a heat gun, and I'll go ahead and heat this up till it's a nice seal. This will help prevent water from getting in there and corroding the wires. We are ready to take both taillights out. And to get started here, this is a push pin fastener. Putting this trim piece on. So I'm going to use a combination of trim panel tool and a flathead to get this off. This one is very difficult to remove. I'll go ahead and get this in there. And get that pulled out. Now I'll pull this off. There's two fasteners right there. So I'm going to try and get this off. So that was one of them. I'll get a trim panel tool, kind of get under here, and get that other one. Those are the two fastening it in. I got a T30 Torx bit. I'll go ahead and get this one bolt removed. Now we can remove our taillight, and I'm just going to pull straight back. So I got the first one out. I'm going to just kind of wiggle it till get this a little looser. And this one and this one, so they're going to go in diagonal, so pulling it straight out does the trick. And then this is the plug. I'll pull out on the red tab, push down, and get this disconnected. Test our plug. We're going to be testing for our running lights. So I got a tester, I got it grounded, and I'm going to just prong into our plug. And you can go ahead and turn them on. And as you can see, the light is lighting up. And then go ahead and turn them off, and it turns off. So we know that the back here, this is our white and orange wire. That's going to be our running light wire. And that was the passenger side. I'm on the driver's side now, and it's going to be the same orientation. It's going to be that bottom row all the way to the right, but that color is going to be white and gray. And you can go ahead and turn it off, and as you can see, it's off when our running lights are off. So that's our circuit. There's some tape along the wires here, and I'm just going to get this stripped back pretty far so I can have somewhere to work. And be very careful not to cut your wires. Get it started and get this peeled away. Went ahead and already did the passenger side, and now I'm running the brown and yellow wire over to the driver's side. I ran it and zip tied it up above their existing hitch on the back here. And now I just got some airline tubing, and I'm gonna fish this all the way up into our taillight pocket. It's a little tight in here, so if you have something that you can fish this, makes it a little easier. Go ahead and pull all the slack out. Now that I pulled these through, I can attach our ground. So it does come with a small ground wire in your kit and an eyelet. So I'm going to crimp this on and get this grounded somewhere out of the way of our taillight. So I'm going to go right here. So I'm going to get myself tapper and get this tapped in. And on this other end, I'll get this stripped back. And I'll pull one of our connectors off of our diodes. I'll go ahead and get the ground, pull that off. Now it doesn't matter which one you pull off to connect onto here, I'm just keeping it a little straight. And now I'll go ahead and connect that to our ground terminal. And set that aside for now. I separated our taillight circuit, and I'm going to go ahead and get this cut back. And I'll strip both sides of these. I'll go a little bit long with these so I can fold them over. Makes a little bit of better connection. Fold that over, put our connector on, and crimp it down on both sides. Plug these in. So the car out is the one that is going to be on the plug side. So this is going out to the taillights. And then the car in is going to be the other side of the line we just cut. And now I'll go ahead and cut these to length. So I'm just going to cut these a little shorter and get these stripped back. I went ahead and crimped on our connectors for our yellow and brown wires, and the brown wires is going to go to the tail light in, and the yellow wire is going to go to the brake in because it's going to be the brake and the turn signal. Plug our lights in back on either side, and I'm not going to fully put these back in. I'm just going to set them in here for now and go ahead and test them on the front. I'll attach the plug temporarily. I'll get the fascia back on and get this on permanently, but for now this is for testing purposes. So I got a small screwdriver. I'm going to take out these screws. Don't take them out all the way. You don't want them to fall out. Then there's going to be a GD, and that's going to be for the ground. And then the other ones will be labeled left turn, right turn, and tail marker for TM for the brown wire. Two things to mention: make sure this goes on before you attach. Again, I'm going to be taking this off, so it's not a big deal, but this will go around it. And then this red wire is the charge line, and that will go in the middle, and that is recommended for flat toe setups. We're going to be using this test box, but if you're at home and you're going to want to test this, then you can just use your RV instead. All right, I'll go ahead and turn this on, see if we got tail lights. We'll go to brake lights, left turn, and right turn. Now that we know everything works, I'm going to go ahead and use some silicone on all of these just to make sure that no water gets to them and they stay corrosion free for a while. And that was a look at our Roadmaster Smart Diode Kit for 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L.